Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the Detox Divas tonight. Super excited about this product or presentation. I truly think that I like to talk about parasites as much as I like to talk about fulvic acid. So if that says anything about how kind of crazy I am, you're going to get the gist of why I get so excited for these detox protocols. Not only are they good for your health, but they're good for your health and they're kind of fun. So let me introduce the company first. We've got Ben Scarcella, Paula Scarcella, husband and wife, dynamite duo. And Paula is our CEO. She's just absolutely amazing. She just made one of our immune boosting kits. I covered that a couple of weeks ago on the Detox Divas. She just made it even better by adding frankincense for free to it. Frankincense will come for free with that. And if you know anything about essential oils, you will know how powerful that one is. And then we have our formulator, Alexandria Brighton, who's got over 30 years of Ayurvedic herbal remedies. She is the mother of essential oils in the Western world. The woman sleeps with her books. She started the integrative. Now I've drawn a blank on the name of her business. It's a holistic essential oil business. Sorry, normally I have a different screen up here for this. Anyway, you're not going to find a more dedicated dynamite duo than you have Paula and Alexandra when it comes to sourcing ingredients, the product purity, just making sure that everything is top notch around here. We truly have the best ingredients. And so we're so excited to share those with you. If you're a guest on the call tonight, there it is. The Brighton Institute of Botanical Studies, yes, and the Degenerative Disease Clinic in Mexico. And because of her reputation here in the essential oil and herbal remedy world, she gets first harvest rights from the farms around the world. So that's pretty cool. That means that the ingredients coming into our products are absolutely pure. So before we go any farther and we start talking about all this really good worm and parasite stuff, we're going to do this little medical disclaimer because we want to make sure that the company is protected. So the information shared in this call is for educational purposes only. Nothing presented is intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any diseases. Always consult your qualified healthcare provider before starting or changing any diet, supplement, detox program. The products and protocols discussed are not evaluated by the FDA. You guys can take a screenshot and read the rest. I want to get right to the good stuff. So how common are parasites? Did you know that approximately 3.5 billion people worldwide suffer from parasitic infections? And sadly, most people who are infected by parasites don't even know that they have it. And that's an estimated 90% of the people may have intestinal parasites in their body, and up to 100 different species of parasites 100 different species can live in one person. You could have 100 different species living inside of you right now. And their presence often goes unnoticed because symptoms mimic common issues such as brain fog, fatigue, flu-like feelings, arthritis, rheumatism, skin problems, and indigestion. And intestinal parasites, not only do they consume both the waste products, they love the heavy metals, they love sugar, they love that junk food that you eat. And every time you eat junk food, I just want you to think about that 40-foot long tapeworm that's living inside of you right now, possibly. And maybe that will make you put that junk food down. But they also eat the vitamins and minerals within the body. And so that's why, every disease, every sickness can be traced to a lack of minerals within the body. Well, if you've got parasites in your body, and they're eating those minerals, and the food that you're eating is void of minerals because of over farming, then you've really got a big situation going on there. And one of the first signs of a parasitic infection is the lack of vitamins and minerals. The toxins from parasites, from the parasite metabolism, destroys the host cells and cause organ damage. So it's really a serious thing. And here's one thing I don't think I have in my notes. The United States is one of the only countries in the world that never tests for parasites or never treats for parasites. And we also have exorbitant healthcare costs. We've got health issues on the rise all across the board. So, parasite infections can lead to your nutrient deficiencies, disturbance in the blood cell production, and hormonal balance. Your hormones are out of whack, might be a parasite. Pathological changes in your blood vessels, weakened defense against cancer. Once your immune system starts dropping, then you've got a problem where cancer cells are going to start surviving. And so we want to create this environment where parasites can't survive and keep that immune system up so that the cancer cells can't survive. So that's the goal of this. And most healthcare treatments, holistic or otherwise, in the presence of parasites will not work unless you first rid the body of them. So let me say that again. These wonderful products that we have, once you do a liver and a parasite cleanse, your body is going to use them so much more and so much more efficiently because the parasites are not eating the nutrients that we're feeding it, and your cells are getting more. So that's another important point. Parasites can mimic other diseases as well. We're going to get into that here in a little bit. And there's a lot of misdiagnoses that can happen because of the way parasites can present within the body. So what kinds of parasites are there? There's the protozoa, and that's very microscopic. That's probably one of the more common ones. And your common effects are going to be diarrhea, cramps, fever, and then there's your fatigue. Then you have the helminths, which are multicellular worms that live in the intestines and other tissues like roundworm, tapeworm, flukes. And common effects are going to be your nutrient loss on that, anemia. Somebody with anemia, they probably have parasites. Organ damage, and then these worms would be visible in the stool. And I've seen some really big tapeworms that people have passed during parasite cleanses and stuff like that. Really big, really gross, but also kind of cool. And then you have the ectoparasites, and those are the ones on the outside of your body. And they spread through close contact, your bedding and your clothing. And your examples of that are going to be your lice, your scabies, your mites, your fleas, your ticks. They all would fall into that category. And then you've got your itchy skin, skin irritations, and sometimes transmission of other diseases like Lyme. So how do you get them? Well, the likelihood of the infection has risen with the increase in the GMO, the genetically modified foods, poor soil health, increased exposure to toxins, and poor nutrition. I know I used to be an every aisle shopper in the grocery store, and now I'm pretty much just the outside aisles because that's where the healthiest food is going to be. And so you got your poor soil health, the increased exposure to toxins, poor nutrition. They all contribute to difficulty expelling them and your body getting rid of them on their own. And it can come from food poisoning. Food poisoning is typically something with parasites, eating raw or semi-raw meat or fish, being in contact with pets, especially like my baby kitties right now that are not dormed yet. And contaminated food, water, poor hygiene, unwashed hands, unwashed fruits and vegetables. I found a parasite in organic blueberries that I got from the grocery store. So always make sure that you're washing your fruits and vegetables all the time. Doctors and especially pediatricians are also exposed to parasites as their patients often have them. Institutional care centers, absolutely. During travel to another country. I mean, people think that this is a third world problem. It is so far from a third world problem. It is a global problem. And elderly people and children are more vulnerable to parasites. And then people with HIV and AIDS. How about that? That was an interesting find, I think. Let's see, get my chat up there. Okay. So the common overlooked symptoms. So parasites are going to consume what you eat, as well as the toxins, such as the primary essential nutrients from soul superfood, mind, body, soul, the coffee, the ashwagandha, the different ingredients that we have in all of these products. The parasites are loving that. But they're loving the heavy metals that you're still doing on your skin, you're breathing in, you're eating, and they can lead to deficiencies of necessary things in the body, a significant decrease in the intake of proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals, and then damage the lymph nodes, intestines, liver, bile duct, skeletal muscle, central nervous system, weakened immune system, and contribute to addictions and self-medication. So you can see there's a lot of things going on with parasites within the body. And symptoms generally occur in stages. You could have anemia, you could have appetite issues, digestive woes, fatigue, joint, muscle pain. If you have an autoimmune disease, you probably have parasites. And just creating that terrain is our goal, where our goal is creating that terrain where the parasites can't survive. So parasites in the body, yes, they can go to the brain also, and they release neurotoxins that can cross that blood-brain barrier, and it's linked to depression, anxiety, seizures, multiple sclerosis symptoms, and sometimes even Parkinson's. Let me get a drink real quick, a tickle. Thyroid. They can live in the thyroid gland also, just a side note there, but they disrupt the mineral absorption, the iodine, selenium, and zinc, which are vital for thyroid health. Inflammation from the parasites contribute autoimmunity, thyroid conditions like Hashimoto's and Graves', and sluggish metabolism, fatigue, weight gain, hair loss, and brain fog. All parasites. Possible parasites in the gut, the bladder, the lungs, the heart, liver, and gallbladder. Now, here's one that I've read about recently with the gallbladder. Sometimes they're not really gallbladder stones. They're liver flukes that have grown in the liver. They block the bile duct. They still feel like and then they take the gallbladder out. Well, the gallbladder really is not that, it's really kind of important because it helps support the liver in the bile production and stuff. So we want to try to keep that gallbladder. Your reproductive organs, you can pass parasites onto your baby mamas. You can pass those parasites onto your baby. I've actually seen a parasite in a baby diaper from a mama that was taking Fulvic while she was breastfeeding, which is fine, just half the dose because you're missing all those minerals. They can come on the skin. Parasite toxins exit through the skin, causing eczema, hives, acne, psoriasis, and mysterious rashes. Now, how many of these have you related to so far? Wait, we haven't even started hardly. And then other tissues. Parasites can insist anywhere in the body, and chronic presence increases oxidative stress, suppresses the immunity, and may contribute to the cancer development. And that is also one of the diseases that has been misdiagnosed. It was parasitic sacs versus an actual tumor. So here are the misdiagnosed conditions. Irritable bowel syndrome. That is very, very common with a parasitic infection, often misdiagnosed as a functional gut disorder. But when the real cause is parasites, irritation of the intestinal lining. And then you have Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, commonly labeled as autoimmune diseases, but parasites can drive the chronic inflammation. Worms and protozoa disrupt that gut barrier, allowing toxins and food particles into the bloodstream, leaky gut. And this triggers the immune chaos and the deep ulceration and long-term damage. Fibromyalgia, yep, that's another one. Consistent pain, muscle aches may be fueled by the parasitic toxins. I know sometimes when people detox too hard, It will feel like they have body aches because the parasites are moving around, laying their eggs, discharging their toxic fluid. They're releasing all their toxins and stuff. And so fibromyalgia would make sense that would be another one. And chronic fatigue syndrome. Parasites hijack the nutrients, drain the mitochondria of energy. We all know how important that mitochondria is, and they overload the liver with toxins. And so you've got liver issues now. You've got your detox pathways are clogged because of the parasite junk, which is why we do the parasite or the liver cleanse first. And that results in deep exhaustion. Anybody have deep exhaustion on here? Hypoglycemia and blood sugar swings. Parasites thrive on sugar and can manipulate the insulin and glucose regulation. How is that for a smart little worm, right? It creates a cycle of the blood sugar spikes and crashes and is often mistaken for pre-diabetes or hypoglycemia. So they can live in the pancreas also. And that's one of the top 5 places that there have been a cancer diagnosis, and it turned out to be a parasitic sac that presented as a tumor on the scan. Anemia, iron and B12, hookworm, whipworm, tapeworms literally steal blood, iron, and B12 from your body. Allergies and asthma. Now, how many of you have let me know in the comments, have you felt like one of these has resonated with you at some point on one of these topics, one of these health issues that I'm talking about? Allergies and asthma, parasites, antigens constantly stimulate the immune system, and this immune overload can show up as chronic allergies, hay fever, asthma attacks, more parasites there, neurological disorders, seizures, MS, Parkinson's. Actually, there was a study done on cadavers of MS patients, and 9 out of 10 of the cadavers had parasites in the brain. And they release these neurotoxins that inflame the nervous system. Cysts can lodge in the brain, leading to seizures, tremors, or MS-like symptoms. And links between the chronic parasitic infection and neurodegenerative disorders are well documented. And then we have our skin conditions, eczema, psoriasis, and rosacea, autoimmune diseases. Parasites can trick the immune system into attacking the body's own tissue, which is what an autoimmune disease is, when your immune system attacks itself. And chronic infections disrupt the balance of the immune signaling, creating autoimmune-like flares. And so maybe you know somebody that has an autoimmune issue going on, and with the full moon coming up, I would be curious to know if you would check in with them and just see how they're feeling this week, see if there's some added activity. Gallbladder, we just talked about that. Parasites can clog those bile ducts. And then cancer, which is my passion. Some parasites are officially recognized as carcinogenic by the World Health Organization, like liver flukes, which is cirrhosis sinensis. And they are a group 1 carcinogen directly linked to bile duct and liver cancer. So that's why I say, make sure you're detoxing. If you know somebody, if you have somebody in your life, which we all do, that has cancer, it's really important for them to do a liver detox and possibly a parasite detox as they're doing their treatment plan. 1, because the liver, if that's clogged already and you're filling the body full of all of those chemicals, where they're going to go, they're just going to recirculate. And then 2, if it's a liver fluke or something living in your liver that looks like it might be a tumor, but it's a liver fluke or something like that, it'd be worth it to try to take a healthy route to help support that treatment, that protocol. So there we go. So what is the pathway to prep? How do we prepare for a liver cleanse? Well, we as a community just got done with a 3-day liver cleanse. We want to make sure that those detox pathways are open, but you can do some of this even if you're not doing a liver cleanse. It's going to help you detox some of those heavy metals that you have in your body that we all make bad choices with our food. I call them cheats, not treats. Just a vocabulary switch to let me know that my subconscious know that it's not a good thing for me. It's a cheat. But dry brushing before a shower, and that is so helpful because your lymphatic system does not pump on its own. It needs a little bit of help. And so before you shower, we've got a great combo. L-Stimulate is an essential oil that we carry in both companies, Gotesana and Heart and Body Naturals. And it's specifically formulated to help the lymphatic system. And so you put some of that on, you use that dry brush, start at your feet and work up. Everything moves. You push and brush everything towards the heart so it can circulate out. And that's going to boost that lymphatic flow and help your skin release toxins at the same time. Gentle movement. Aim for at least 20 to 30 minutes of light activity a day. I talked about this last week. Don't think you're a rock star getting that first spot in front of the Target door. You need to park farther away so that you can start counting more steps in your daytime. Rebounding is really great for the lymphatic system too. 10 minutes on a rebound, little trampoline is a 30-minute walk. So you can do a lot more in a little less time if time is an excuse. Hydration, we should all be doing this all the time anyway, right? We should all be drinking water all the time, not just on a detox protocol. Some added support would be colon support. If you're not going to the bathroom once or twice a day, then you're going to want to get that colon support also and help that. I love the Vitality, which is free this month. I'm going to go over that later. The lymph detox, which we just talked about. Fulvic acid, hands down. You should be taking this every day. If you're not taking fulvic acid, we need to have a one-on-one because it's that important. Magnesium oil is also excellent. It's going to help relax the muscles and support elimination. And then, of course, our beloved black seed oil, which that's another one you should be taking every day. And when you do these 3 things consistently, you're not just prepping for the liver cleanse. You're setting your body up for a faster, smoother, and more energizing results. Because if your body's going to struggle through a parasite cleanse, you're not going to feel as rejuvenated on the backside of it when we're all done as those of us that have prepared our bodies well. And you might have those flu-like symptoms. And sometimes it's called the Herxheimer reaction. And sometimes those can be actually quite brutal. So why do doctors miss this? Well, I don't know why they miss this, but yes, I do. Here's a couple reasons. So stool tests are actually unreliable. So parasites don't shed eggs or organisms every single day. So a sample may come back clean, even when the infection is present. So if you're going to have a stool sample, I suggest doing it around the full moon. Doctors treat the label, not the root. We all know that, right? You can go in and get a drug for depression, which is going to lead to inflammation in the joints because of the chemicals. And then that's going to lead to a thyroid issue. And then that's going to lead to this and that and cardiac and everything, right? So we're treating these symptoms instead of going to the root cause, which is what we do around here. And pharmaceuticals mask the problem. So acid reducers, steroids, antidepressants, painkillers, they all suppress the symptoms that could be going on. And meanwhile, parasites continue damaging the tissues, stealing the nutrients and weakening the immunity. So it just gets worse and worse and worse. Medical training overlooks parasites. In the US, I know that other countries, I just had a conversation yesterday with someone, they detox twice a year. And in Western countries, parasites are treated as a third world issue, and they're not. If I can get blueberries organic and they have a parasite on it, it is not a third world problem. And this bias leads to doctors to rule them out before even considering them. So the symptoms may mimic other diseases. Parasites can imitate an autoimmune flare, a neurological condition like we just talked about. even hormonal imbalances. And because these symptoms overlap so many boxes, they're really connected back to the parasites. And so that is why a functional detox protocol matters. So we have our next liver cleanse. Like I said, we're going to go over this over the next couple of weeks so that everybody knows what to do. We want to make sure that you're fully informed and excited to do this. I always get so excited on a parasite cleanse. So the kit is going to come with the fulvic acid, the purge tonic, the clove bud essential oil. That's really good for killing off those eggs because the parasites are reproducing over the full moon. And we want to stop that bad behavior. Soursop fusion tea. Soursop is a gold mine of a tea. There are so many studies on this, both in how it supports. If you go to PubMed, you'll find research articles on how soursop is effective against cancer. It's effective against parasites, but maybe after what you've learned tonight, maybe there's not that big of a difference sometimes, right? And then there's the Hepa Detox essential oil. With all this detoxing and everything the parasites are doing when they are under attack, because when they feel they're under attack, they are going to throw their eggs, they're going to throw their toxins, and they're going to bury deeper into the tissues and stuff. So we want to make sure that they have an exit route versus going into, say, your liver and creating a new colony. So if your body keeps screaming symptoms and you're only getting labels, it might be time to stop asking what and start asking why. Parasites hide, labels don't heal. So that's what we are focusing on with this parasite cleanse. So one of the fantastic things when you buy that parasite cleanse, not only are you going to get all that goodness that I just talked about, you're going to get one of my favorite teas in the whole world. I make a gallon of this about every other day. It is one of the most powerful detox teas available. There's nothing like this on the market. We're so lucky to have this formulation. And this has tons of micronutrients, and it helps with the elimination of undigested waste in your colon, your digestive system. It's filled with compounds from plants that gently cleanse your digestive system, support your health with naturally occurring phytonutrients, powerful antioxidants, and herbs known for their healing properties. I love my vitality. Then on our sister company side, Go to Sauna, we have our Seasons of Success, which is a monthly subscription, optional. You can buy one, you can set it up on a monthly thing, but you see there the self-aware essential oil, both on the left and on the right boxes. This Seasons of Success essential oil collection takes you on a healing journey so that you can become the best version of yourself. Let me tell you, mindset work is everything when it comes to finding joy in life, and being self-aware. Number one, of your thoughts. Number two, of your vocabulary. Number three, of your habits is so incredibly important to break that cycle. And so with that, you can stay grounded and empowered with September Self-Aware. And then on the right, this kit is so incredible. It is, I think, $69.95, I think $59.95, but it has deodorant, which is toxic free. The rose and vetiver is so delicious. I walk around, hey, you want to smell my pits? Because it smells so good. Most people don't want to smell my pits, but there you go. And then you've got the lavender and comfy bar of organic soap. You've got your organic toothpaste. And then you have the self-aware, you have sweet basil, and then prostate care. And this is all put together very carefully and formulated by Alexandria Brighton, who you just can't get anything better than what she puts out. So if sharing with others is something that you enjoy, the call following this one directly is going to be Coach Marcus Jones. Coach Marcus Jones has built an amazing business with green organics. He is a diamond, and he actually was just became full time with Green Organics. The man has worked tirelessly for us all these years while holding down a high level management job with an insurance company. And now he has finally retired and taken away our ability to tell a really good story about how you can fit this in. But the truth is, he fit this business in around his work hours. He stayed dedicated. Yeah, now gainfully unemployed. Actually, I love that. So he's going to be going over the business opportunity. I love to talk, and I hope you can hop on that directly following this. That's OneTeamOneDreamHangout.com. And he'll go over what the opportunity is here with Green Organics. So if you are ready to start your healing journey, I just want to thank you for being here, number one. And we hope you learned something new. I'd love to know when I post the replay of this. If you let me know one thing that you learned, I would love to hear that. And be ready to take the next steps towards real root cause healing, because the root cause is where it's at. This is just the beginning, you guys. Be sure to get back to whoever shared this with you. And we will see you next Thursday. I believe next Thursday is going to be a testimony call. So if you've done a liver or parasite cleanse and would like to be a guest on that, I would love to have you. I'm asking Coach Kimberly to fill in for me next week, since I will be getting ready to be in Nashville. And I just appreciate you all so much. I'm here for you. I believe in you. And it is time for you to rise and have that root cause healing. So have a great evening.